It's been a good run. I never thought that you would go out like this. Multi-billion-dollar AAA companies are failing us. Over the years, they've gained our respect by delivering polished, quality video games that well deserve the $60 price tag, only to grow complacent, with the only reason justifying a now $70 price tag being their company's name attached to the game. What once used to be new and exciting experiences have now been taken advantage of for the sake of trying to boost profits and sales. Video games made by most AAA companies have become less like actual video games and more like Candy Crush. Newly announced games put all their manpowers into making the trailers look enticing, then post-launch they release a public apology when the game inevitably disappoints. I'm starting my own collection of these, so if you have any more, yeah, but anyways. The worst part is that we're feeding into this behavior, purchasing these games, buying their battle passes, reasoning with ourselves and others that bugs can always be patched. With the current state of where gaming is going, it's no wonder many have such a defeatist attitude. Goodbye forever, gaming, because to us, you're dead.
Rock and Stone!
People talk about gaming dying and video games not being like they used to be, the first thing that they point towards are the multi-billion-dollar companies. Their scope of the gaming industry is solely made of AAA companies. They're the biggest producers of video games, therefore if they're fumbling, that means the entire industry is fumbling. It's easy to understand where this train of thought stems from though. If I only played video games using gaming consoles, and I notice a rapid decline with the games I buy annually, I'd also think that there'd be an industry-wide problem. After all, these are the big guys. The whole industry revolves around them. Or at least that's what a lot of people think. I've seen time and time again this question of whether or not gaming is dying, and the easiest answer is
no.
It's easy to be negative and spout on and on about how gaming in current year is dying, all the while donning a British accent and stretching the video out to 5.5 hours. Believe me, the YouTube algorithm would love that, but no. Gaming isn't dying. Companies just suck.
Hey, I don't think you're allowed to say that, man.
Why do they suck though? Complacency and greed are two key factors. Companies that are already well established no longer have any incentive to take risks and innovate. They're better off playing it safe.
Okay,
wait, hold on. What are you guys doing? Hey, I'm trying to do something here. Come on, guys.
People already know why we're fucking doing this video.
We know why they suck. If it weren't obvious, there wouldn't be a bajillion different video essays on why video games are dying. Companies don't need to make good games anymore because they've already made games that they're known for. They're like ticks. Once they get a hold, they'll keep drinking up blood until they're full, and it's up to us to pull them out. They don't have any incentive to innovate because of the inherent risk that comes with that. Why make a new IP when you can reuse the same one? Sure, a new title can turn a big profit if it sells well, but making something safe takes priority. And honestly, that tracks. Why would you want to make a new fan base when you already have one that already exists? Trust me guys, if I was making $1 million off of those Oni Plays animations, I'd be cranking them harder than the cum out of my dick. Keita Takahashi, the creator of one of my favorite games, Katamari Damacy, puts it plainly. I find it quite boring that if a company creates one thing that sells really well, then obviously the company is going to work on almost similar types of things to make a profit.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
It's the same reason why he left the Katamari Damacy series after the second one. He didn't even want to make a second game because it went directly against his ideals. The only reason he posted up was because they were gonna make it with or without him. It's no wonder after the second Katamari game that everything that followed just became worse. Companies don't listen to consumers. They're the reasons why games that could have had such a great potential end up dog shit at launch. I have to add that when I'm criticizing companies, that I'm not directing blame to the people who are actually developing the games, like the UI designers, modelers, and voice actors. The ones that I'm blaming are the higher ups, the ones that are at the top of the pyramid, since a bad game stems from poor project management from the higher ups. I highly doubt the guy working on particle effects or animation modeling, whatever, has control over the entire state of a single project. They are literally just doing their job. Do not attack those people. Hi, it's PoorDesign. It's fucking 9:23 at night on almost New Year's, and I forgot to record another thing that I thought about while making this video. So you know how we came out with a bunch of shitty games this year, like the day before, Starfield, and that one King Kong game? Well, I don't remember any of the other games that came out from 2022, 2021, 2020, or even from the times when we thought gaming was good. Because nobody remembers the bad games, they remember the good games that came out during a year. So when looking back further into years when we had nostalgia for video games and shit, we kind of just omit all the bad stuff that happened with gaming. And I also wanted to include the fact that the only reason we thought gaming was good back then when we were kids is because we didn't have a lot of experience with video games. I'm pretty sure if I went back to my fucking childhood and played half of the games that I played, they would be complete dog water by today's standards. Sorry that I don't think Larry Boy and the Bad Apple for the Game Boy Advance is going to come anywhere close to Baldur's Gate 3, Disco Elysium, Picking My Nose. We just had different standards back then, and that's fine. A lot of people just don't remember that sort of thing because, you know, we're old and we kind of forget stuff. Needless to say, this addition to the video was a last second segment. I hope I get this done by at least January. And yeah, companies are money driven. Such is the state of all industries, and unfortunately being money driven comes at the sacrifice of passion. So much so that these guys are holding conferences on how they can manipulate consumers into giving them more money through microtransactions, artificial scarcity, and play now, pay later strategies.
A big and substantial portion of digital revenues are microtransactions. When you are 6 hours into playing Battlefield and you run out of ammo in your clip and we ask you for $1 to reload, you're really not very price sensitive at that point in time. Essentially what ends up happening, and the reason the play first, pay later model works so nicely, is the consumer gets engaged in a property. They might spend 10, 20, 30, 50 hours on the game. And then when they're deep into the game, they're well invested in it. We're not gouging, but we're charging. And at that point in time, the commitment can be pretty high.
These assholes are studying at a conference the idea of price sensitivity, trying to find the point in time in a video game where you'd most likely spend money on a microtransaction. Overwatch was able to make $1 billion on the first year of its release, and it was able to make another $1 billion through microtransactions in 2019, so it clearly works. The worst part is, this idea is now starting to infect others who want to make video games. Roblox is a prime example of it. Most of these quote-unquote games barrage you with icons telling you to purchase items specific to that game. Things that'll boost your progress, skip your progress, all so that they can increase the chance of you spending money on their game and in turn giving them money. Companies like EA no longer care about what makes a game fun. They don't tell you this, but their actions give a clear message. They want your money, and they'll try whatever they can get away with in order to do that. And that's what makes indie games so much more fun. We're at a time where indie games are more popular than they've ever been, with more and more indie companies sprouting up and delivering their passion projects straight to digital video game distributors. At the same time, video games are becoming more accessible to create. And the people making these games are generally people who genuinely enjoy video games and want to make something that they want to play. The idea of outputting mediocrity isn't something that they can count on because of the fact that they have no reason to make a game like that. They don't have a franchise or fan base that they can cater to or fall back on. Their first professional game is the one that has to make it through sheer work. And yeah, that's a double-edged sword because they can try and make a soulish cash grab as well, but that's for another discussion. There's a lot you can do with your money, and I know that this is an extremely hot take, but maybe the money that you use for video games should go towards ones that you enjoy. The sad thing about now is that many don't give smaller games a chance, and even I tend to fall into that category. I probably spent 50 indies games worth of money on Team Fortress 2 items myself. Try to set aside some of that money you use for microtransactions and other games to buy ones that you haven't seen before. Of course, that doesn't mean you have to buy every single indie game on the market, just try to be a bit more experimental. Maybe you'll find your favorite game. It's just that it won't be one you wouldn't discover through word of mouth or popularity or whatever. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for this video. This part isn't scripted, but yeah, gaming isn't dying, and all the other videos that say otherwise are fucking stupid, and I hate them, and I'm right, and they're wrong. They're small, I'm big, you know. So what did we learn, everybody? Is gaming dying? No!